Bodega, part Twenty-eenio.
Nice.
That was your idea for last
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad that you remembered and you kept going.
Tamira sat back to the wall in the darkest corner as she had been trained. The Wallop Bar was a bar like few others. Instead of paying an entry charge, customers were expected to show a life insurance policy at the door, and those without weapons were turned away. She had calculated her chances of making it out of this pit unharmed at around 40%, and death itself was around a 5% likelihood. Still, for a chance to meet with Bodega, she figured the odds were in her favor. After half an hour, there he was, the man himself, bang on time. A layperson might have assumed Bodega would be one of those people that turned up fashionably late, but people who knew him knew that to Bodega, late was dead. Late was the guy hanging off the ramp of an evac ship, screaming for his compadres to rescue him. Late was a co-pilot mistiming the jump to hyperspeed and getting caught in an exploding nova. Late was a Filtruvian slip-hound begging for mercy while a gunch crunk smarkled like a Trevonwonk at the biannual Gremfrith. Late was nowhere. Bodega sauntered in without a care in the galaxy. Tamira felt her undergarments getting a little tighter, a little hotter. Yeah, so what? She'd always had a crush on Bodega. It didn't have any effect on her ability to do her job. That's why they could still work together from time to time. Bodega scanned the bar casually, saw Tamira immediately, and began approaching. Tamira felt her face flush in response. Be cool, she told herself. Tamira, how's it hanging, pard? Asked Bodega. She played it cool. Men who fancied her didn't usually refer to her as pard, but she reminded herself this was a business meeting. Could do with a refill, B, she said, swilling the last of her volvale around the bottle to emphasize her point. Bodega turned to the bar and held up 2 fingers and took a seat across from Tamira. Within 20 seconds, an eager bar boy pranced over with their drinks. Hate sitting like this, said Bodega, clearly uncomfortable with his back to the door. There's room here, said Tamira, sliding along to make space for her crush. She wore a midnight blue skin suit, and as she slid across the wooden bench, it made a pleasing squeaking sound. She noticed Bodega involuntarily bite his lip, and she stifled a smile. No matter how much of a badass a man was, she'd still never met one that could resist her ass in this outfit. Bodega and Tamira sat side by side, eyeing the bar for a good 10 minutes before the man spoke. Tamira, he said, I'm putting together a crew. Hoping you're available. He turned to look at her. Nothing but honesty written across his face, but there was the faintest twinkle in his grey eyes. Holy flav, she thought, my chance to get close to Bodega. For the last 5 years, she'd been working as a spy, mainly corporate stuff. High-end deals, companies trying to steal from one another, boardroom manipulation, twisting a campaign slogan towards strength or weakness, intel leaks, assassinations, and of course, some general admin work and making cups of scoffy, that kind of stuff. But there was a chance to test her mettle with Bodega, and maybe, if she was lucky, catch his eye. What's in it for me, she asked, trying to play it cool. Not much. Money, hopefully. Glory, maybe, said Bodega, downing his drink and ripping a vast cumulonimbus on his mega vape. Also, Bodega began, leaning in a little closer, much to Tamira's delight. Not sure if you heard what happened to me, but we got flarved over. Woman's name was Shiela. Well, that's what she went by. Let me guess. Middle-aged appearance, frumpy, harmless, and made the best damn scoffy you've ever had, she smirked. Yep, that's the one, sighed Bodega. She took about 500 million skrells and made for the cosmos. Need some help tracking her down. Name's not Shiela, it's Wargon, shape-shifting son of a scrub. And he's a bad mother. Tamira was cut off mid-sentence by Bodega's expression. His smile had dropped, his eyes were on the door. Tamira turned to see what had caught his eye, and right on cue, in walked Wargon, disguised for some reason as Shiela. Well, I'll be flarved, spat Bodega, pulling his las gun under the table. Not here, and not yet, said Tamira, placing a hand across the gun and tilting it away from Wargon. Tamira, that bastard stole $500 million from me, and in my book that means it's party time, said Bodega, pulling a second gun out of his coat with his other hand. Bodega, please, Tamira insisted, using her other hand to push the second gun aside. Tamira, I ain't letting this fool get away from me, said Bodega, angling his left boot towards Wargon, a small lasgun barrel visible at the toe cap. Bodega, trust me, pleaded Tamira, using her right foot to angle Bodega's boot away from Wargon. We need to know who he's meeting first. I don't care who he's meeting, said Bodega, using his remaining leg to point a toe cap towards Wargon. You need to wait, hissed Tamira angrily, as she worked her other leg over and pinned Bodega's last leg to the bench. She was straddling him at this point, her back to Wargon, her face close to the sinewy cowboy writhing below her. Bodega looked square into Tamira's eyes, his face full of fury. A braid of her hair slipped from her head and touched his face. Then her lips touched his, and suddenly Bodega had forgotten all about that varmint Wargon as he and Tamira smooched like teenagers right here in the darkest corner of the Wallop Bar and Grill. Okay, Pard, we'll play it your way, said Bodega, breathless as their lips finally parted. Good, said Tamira, and honey, please don't call me Pard. Bodega tipped the brim of his hat and looked a tad sheepish. Wargon, in Shiela form, was sat at a table around 30 meters away at the far side of the room. Bodega and Tamira sank back into the shadows of their cubicle and watched as Wargon ordered a drink and eyed the door. Around 15 minutes later, a figure in a dark red suit entered, face obscured by a desert cloak. They glanced around the bar and finally took a seat across from Wargon, who pushed a package across the table towards the cloaked figure, who then pushed a small red disc across the table back to Wargon. They shook hands and then both stood and left by separate exits. You follow the man in red. I've got Wargon, said Tamira. Oh, sorry. You follow the man in red. I've got Wargon, said Tamira. Be careful, said Bodega. It's okay. Me and Wargon go way back, said Tamira, her face hardening. Bodega slipped expertly through the crowd, not drawing any attention as he skulked after the man in red. Tamira made straight for the staff exit out the back and positioned herself in the darkness of an alleyway, watching for Wargon. Her hands closed around the grip of her Pentafire 8 pistol as she prayed Wargon would come her way. To be continued.
Oh, bit of a cliffhanger.
It's
nice.
good. It's a really good one.
That's a good
great,
one.
P-Flex.
That's a good one. They're all good.
I did notice a little Freudian slip in the middle.
What was it?
Well, because you say that you're not Bodega.
Right,
okay?
right.
You're not Bodega, but you call Bodega Balldega?
No, that was not true. I am not Bodega, clearly.
Oh, man.